All right, guys, it is Saturday, and yes, you are seeing the 80 Regal project in my garage instead of my 55, and there's a good reason for it. I've got to take a break from that 55 to keep my sanity. I knocked my step stool over last weekend that I was using to sand and buff the roof of the 55. I knocked it over, and it hit the top of the rocker, and it chunked the paint in two places straight to primer. So now I have to go back and spot repair that, respray the lower section of the quarter because there's no place to basically blend. I have to, spot in the base, but I'll have to re-clear the whole side of the car below the trim. So I'm pretty pissed off about it. I'm actually still pissed off about it. But anyway, I just decided to take a break from it for now and jump back on this Regal. Now this Regal, a couple months ago, I had it verbally sold to a guy. He backed out, changed his mind, which is fine. At the time, I was going to sell the car and use the money for my business, but I ended up doing it on my own. I didn't need to sell the car, so I'm just going to keep the car. Now, I had thought about a month ago, I even posted a video about it for my next channel build after the 55. I was going to cut the whole cowl A-pillar section out of this car and put it in my Buick Century. So now there's another thing that's come up. I'll post a video after this one. The guy that I got the Turbo Century from, there's a few G-bodies out there. He has the back half remnants of a 79 Regal out there. There's no doors, there's no front clip on it. And he actually just gave me the whole car. Now the deck lid on that car was mint, other than surface rust. Now like the deck lid on this car is wasted. It has three big creases in it, three big long creases in it. And of course this can be body worked, but I'm not gonna, if all I gotta do is take 4 bolts out and change the deck lid out, that's exactly what I'm doing, especially when it's free. So I'm gonna swap the deck lid out. Now this car had bad rust on this side. This was the worst part of the car was this. Anyway, I've already started spot welding that in. I'll fully spot weld this all the way around and then go back and grind it and DA it, and then I'll have to skim coat it with filler, but the rust will be fixed correctly. Also, it had aluminum trims pop riveted to the side of the car, and I started welding those holes up as well. I've still got to get rid of the rivets here, what's left of those, and grind the area clean and then spot weld them. But I'm taking all the trim off the bottom of the car because it was pretty rough. And I like them better without the trim. I would like to keep the fender well trim, and it sucks because I just now thought of it. I didn't even look at that free Regal a while ago to see if that piece of stainless trim around the wheel well was good. I do know where a good one is on another car in Tulsa, but I'd have to go buy it. But I may have it on the other car. I just didn't look at it. And I'm not going to drive back over there. But anyway, I am going to take the fender well trim off so I can go ahead and do some body work on the car. And I'm going to put it in black primer. And the only reason I'm doing that is I'm not going to drive the car in purple, Barney purple and brown fenders. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to fix the rust and, fix all the stuff that I need to fix, the big stuff. And then I'm going to sand it all down, leave the trim on it, but I'm going to primer it. I think it'll look better in primer. But I don't really want to use black primer, but it's what I've got here, and I don't want to have to spend any money. So, because this car, let's face it, this is a budget-built car, and I'll just have to drive it with maroon seats and blue door panels and a tan dash. I don't care, but the outside I definitely want to look a little bit better. But at least now I don't have to cut the car up. I can actually go ahead and continue on with it. But this car has a bunch of brand new parts on it, new tires and everything, and it's just kind of stupid to have it sitting out here in the fenced area and not get use out of it. Hell, I even pay insurance on this car. So pretty much, basically what I'm trying to say is by Monday night, this thing's going to be in black primer, and it is going to be a lot better to look at than Barney purple and brown. So the hood needs work. The corners of the turbo hood I have for this are rusty, so I'm going to have to do some sheet metal work on the corners. And so I've still got some work to do. The window regulator was messed up, and it's mainly the part where the window crank actually clips on. This had a lot of slack in it, so it's worn pretty bad. And so it was kind of hard to roll the window up. You'd get about a half a crank out of it, and then it'd stop, and you'd have to back it up a little bit and then do it again. So that would have frustrated me to drive this car and that window be that way. So I drilled the rivets out of the housing here. That's all there is to these, and it has this little gear thing on there because this is a manual window car. I think they make these new. If not, I've got a pair of 81 to 87 Regal doors out here that are manual, so I'll just pop that, drill the rivets out of it, and I'll use that piece out of it. But anyway, so I wanted to get the window crank fixed for sure. Now the mirror, I went ahead and took it off a while ago because, you know, the window regulator, I got the door panel off and everything because the paint's flaking out. Where they had painted it purple, they didn't even sand it, and the paint's just falling off of it. So now with the mirror off, I can get to it by hand and hand sand it real good, and that way the primer will stick pretty good. Now, if I do keep this car, I'll eventually paint it. But when I do, I'm going to strip it to bare nothing, take all the glass out of it, gut it, and I'll chemical strip it to bare metal and do it right. But for now, I do want the primer to stick, so I've got to do a bunch of sanding on it. Now this is a first for me. I borrowed this from my mom and dad a while ago, so I'm going to try to use this to sand this thing down. I actually tried it with the pad that was on there. I'll have to go to Lowe's and get some more, but it looks like it's actually going to work pretty good. So I'm going to tape off all my trim so I don't get into it with this sander. But anyway, I'm going to feather edge all this flaking paint and tape off all the trim, do the body work on the areas that needs it, and I'm going to put some black primer on this dude, man. So anyway, stay tuned for a 3-day transformation on this car, and hopefully I'll have a new daily driver that I can kind of switch back and forth from my truck to this. And I've been out of a G-body for a little while since I sold my salon, so it'll be kind of nice to actually have this going. But you know, like I said, I'm sure not going to drive it in Barney purple and brown. So, and that big rust hole in the back's a nice focal point of conversation between my buddies. When they come over here, they got to make fun of it, so I've got to fix that as well. But anyway, guys, stay tuned, and I'll post a couple of videos between now and Monday night, but it should be a total transformation by the end of the week.